Hi all, this is Vishal Jagdishan from experienceandlearn.com, right? Are you a parent who is interested to teach robotics to your teens? Then if does so, then this is a video for you all to watch because I'm just going to tell you what exactly you have to learn and how you can teach your kids the perfect method of learning robotics as well, right? So let me just get into the slide deck, which has been kept ready for you, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make robotics easy for your kids, right? So why robotics at the first part is that right now the entire world is moving on to the fourth industrial revolution, which is called as the revolution of intelligence. So over the past history, okay, so over the last decades of 2 to 3 centuries, what has happened is that the first industrial revolution happened when the steam engine was invented. Then the second one started when electricity was discovered. And the third one happened when computing was happening, right? When the computers were discovered and things were happening. And right now, people are moving into this fourth intelligence, fourth industrial revolution, which is called as intelligence. And what is this? Is nothing but the AI, the artificial intelligence and robotics combining together and taking over a lot of places is what this fourth industrial revolution is all about. And each and every time these industrial revolutions happened, what has happened is that a huge set of job or huge set of career opportunities or a huge set of work opportunities got entirely diminished, right? Or they become entirely extinct, right? And now what has happened is that it is completely being replaced by a new set of jobs, right? So for example, if you have taken like 100 years ago to even write the accounts, okay, to maintain the accounts of each and every company, we will have a huge set of team. We will have like 100 to 200 people sitting together and writing the accounts in ledger books and maintaining them each and every day. But right now, if you just looked into the entire operations of any company, a computer or a laptop or a mobile is enough to do all the database works or all the account statements to be maintained, and they can access it like anywhere, any place they want. So that's how the industrial revolutions have replaced the older set of jobs and they have started providing a newer set of jobs, right? So like this, right now with the artificial intelligence going in, there is again, once again, there's going to be a new set of jobs which is going to come up. For example, let me say how the Amazon is going to do, right? So Amazon is planning to use all their delivery services using drones and robots. So if this comes into place, imagine all the delivery boys or all the delivery people who are about to deliver goods to your home, they're all not required, right? So all their jobs are going to be replaced by robots. Similarly, if you take the car or the automobile industries, right, people started manufacturing driverless cars, okay, cars which don't require drivers. So if that is going to come into existence again, right, what's going to happen is that you don't need drivers to drive them. So their jobs are also going to get replaced with a newer set of jobs who that is like people who are required to handle these skills of robotics and artificial intelligence. And that is why it is very important, first of all, to teach your kids the knowledge of robotics, right? But is that enough? No. When you step into robotics or when you step into the knowledge of intelligence, there is a huge world of things which you have to learn, right? And exactly what I'm going to do in this particular video is that I'm just going to simplify it and I'm just going to make it into 5 pillars of robotics. And if your teens or if your kids can understand and if they can learn these 5 pillars of robotics, making robots or getting the knowledge of intelligence is very, very, very damn easy, guys, right? So what are these 5 pillars? Okay, so let me start out with these things, right? So there are like 5 pillars, and what are they? The first pillar is called as the electronics. Okay, so once you want your teens or once you want your kids to start learning robotics, the first thing they have to make is to start learning the electronic components. Okay, so let me just show you some image. Okay, so these are the small majorly used micro level electronic components which your kids have to start learning them. Not only that, they have to learn what is the component, how it is used, right? What could be the circuit diagram representation and how they can convert a diagram to an actual circuit. So all these knowledges are the primary and it is the basic knowledge they have to first cover upon. Once they have understood this, once they have learned the first pillar, the next one is to go into the motors and actuators, right? So when I say motors and actuators, these are the knowledge which they require to control the movement of the robots. Okay, so if you take any object, okay, even yourself or any object in the universe, they can actually move in the three axes of movement. Okay, so one is like x-axis, y-axis, or z-axis, right? So other movements, everything is a combination of these three axes. So to provide these kinds of movements to your robot as well, to move in this three axis for your robot, then you have to learn about the motors and actuators. Okay, so when you take about motors and actuators, once again, there are a lot of types of motors. Okay, so you have the DC motors, you have a servo motors, then you have the stepper motors, then you have the actuators, linear actuators. So there's a lots of knowledge which you have to learn about in the second pillar as well. Once you have stepped into that and once you have understood or once you have got some ideas about it, the next pillar you have to move on is called as the microcontroller. So what is this microcontroller? This is actually the brain of the robot. Okay, so this is where the entire control of your robots take place, just like a human being. How our hands, legs, eyes, ears, nose, everything is connected to our central brain. For your robot also, there is a very important knowledge which has to be shared by the brain, right? And when you come into these brains, there are again a various different types of brains or microcontrollers which is available in the market, like Arduino, Raspberry Pi, PIC controller, ARM controller. Then we have the BeagleBone. So a lot many more knowledge is also stored there, which you have to cover. Once you have done that, next we go into the programming. So when we come into the programming, so now we have installed the brain. Now we have put all the motors that is going to control the motion of the robot, right? The next step is to tell the brain how it has to work. Okay, so that is what is called as programming, and we will be writing codes to our brain. Each microcontroller has a different way of programming and coding, right? So some uses C, some use embedded C, some use Python. So there is again a whole set of knowledge which has to be covered in the programming section as well. So that's the fourth pillar you have to teach your kids, right, when it comes to learning and building robots. And once they have learned that also, the final pillar is that they have to understand the different types of sensors, right? So if you take a human body, right, we have like six senses. The six senses are like seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, feeling, right, and also about thinking. And to do all this stuff, we have eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, as well as the brain, right? But similarly, your robot also has to do all these stuff, right? So they have to see, they have to smell, they have to taste, right? So different applications requires different types of senses to be done by your robot. And to do all this stuff, we have these sensors installed, or we have the sensors combined with them inside these robots, right? So once you have taken up the knowledge with the sensors, then making a robot is actually damn easy, guys, because you know the basic electronics, you know how to control their movements by using motors and actuators, and that can be controlled by a microcontroller with a perfect code written to the microcontroller and all the sensors, giving them the right knowledge of data to the brain so that it can work accordingly to your function, right? So I think so now you would have understood how exactly you have to take this particular robotics knowledge to your kids, right? So if you have a clear picture about it, you can just share your opinion below this video. And if you would love to teach your kids, and if you have loved this particular video with me, and you would love to make your kids journey in robotics along with us, what you can also do is that I am going to organize a special live 5-day bootcamp program where I go much more deeper in them and I start teaching them how they can also build virtual robots from their own. And not only that, I also take them very much further in building the real robots and stuff as well. So if you want to just let them know, or if you just want your kids to be a part of this knowledge thing, what you have to do is just click the link below this particular program, particular video, right, where you have the 5-day bootcamp registration link. You can enroll your team for that, and we will make sure that your kids are going to be very much learning the skills of the future. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.